Hello and welcome to the Open Air Astro Fair summary for June 29th, 2025. What is it? What was it? And how can you find out more? Well, the L&I Carswell Observatory at York University in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, has been building up to this event for the whole last year. We were lucky enough to get quite a few wonderful participants from all around Canada. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Elena Hyde, and I'm very happy here to present our big event for 2025, the Open Air Astro Fair. Now, we have had a lot of fun adventures, so I'm going to go ahead and start off by telling you about the event, about the observatory, and actually letting you see some of the events in live time. So the Open Air Astro Fair 2025 was a concept we started out with about a year ago in 2024. We wanted to be able to put together a day and night of discovery for all ages to explore astronomy, activities, and of course, to just have lots and lots of fun in real time. We're lucky enough to be joined by some very spectacular events, which I will be showing you later on. The Ice Cube LED display, and of course, the Astronomy in Action Planetarium show were two of our largest events on campus. We have interactive booths, science demonstrations, telescope viewing, and all kinds of stuff. So, where was this? Well, York University is in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, up at the Keele campus. It's a bit north of the downtown, and we are located in actually two different locations, which makes it a little bit difficult. We were on the sorry, Arboretum, I should say, Arboretum parking garage rooftop, which is our atrium location, and the observatory itself, which is just like around the corner, down the street, and up into the Petrie Science and Engineering building. So we provided some folks maps from the subway stations, and as you can see, the York University Keele campus, we have actually two subway stations that you can get off at: York University subway station and the Pioneer Village subway station. And they're actually about equidistant from the observatory itself. So it's a short walk either way. You can also always drive to campus. And the reason I'm bringing this up now is that even if you missed the Open Air Astro Fair, you can still join us on any of our regular Wednesday night tours, which are all free. Now, the Astro Fair featured partners were many and fabulous. So, in no particular order, of course, the Astronomy in Action Planetarium, the Space Place Canada nonprofit, Downsview Park, our partner for, of course, Movies Under the Stars with viewing of the stars, and the York U Astronomy Club. We had the Rask Toronto Centre, the David Dunlap Institute. We had a feature from the York University Nats area. And our astronomer in residence partners out at Killarney Provincial Park came with a booth, as did the York U Ice Cube Neutrino Model. And we'll definitely be telling you more about that one. We had a special James Webb Space Telescope area from the Minerva group, which is the OWL. And we had a large AICO games area, as well as, of course, the actual observatory domes themselves. If you go onto Google Maps and zoom in a little bit, this is what you would see, minus all, of course, all of the annotations. So where we were was up on top of the Arboretum parking garage with little stations spread out all around. We actually had plenty of space because it's a very large region. Now we had all of our doors were the stars, and you can see to get to the observatory from the atrium, you just kind of have to go down off of this rooftop safely onto the ground and into the Petrie building. So it's not terribly far. Now, this event had many various features. We had telescope observing. Of course, we started off at 5 p.m., which during the summertime is quite bright. So we had solar viewing, we had sundials, and we had lots and lots of activities, wonderful photo booths, and of course, we had wonderful volunteers helping us with all kinds of things from checking tickets to actually setting up the stations. And once we started setting them up, we had rows and rows of people coming through. It was a wonderful event. It was a little bit warm by 5 p.m., But since we ran until 11 p.m., once the sun went down, it was quite refreshing. We had lots and lots of games and events, and all of these free handouts from the observatory were made in conjunction with wonderful student volunteers. And of course, all of our wonderful booths that people set up across the parking lot played a huge role in making it really enjoyable. The Astronomy Club, in particular, was able to put together a wonderful henna constellation station for temporary tattoos of constellations with henna, and mine turned out fabulous. So I just had to show everyone that, in fact, I do still have it, and it's changed color. It's wonderful. Really fun stuff. Free constellation tattoos, lots of free giveaways for kids, activities, meteorites to touch, and of course, views. We had lots of people coming with telescopes, and we even got a surprise shot of a large plane that flew overhead just as the sun was going down, and we captured it right in front of the moon. So there's not just stars and moons up there. The planet Mars was also visible, and we had wonderful telescopes set up. The all-time best solar telescope view that we had was from Killarney Provincial Park, Bruce Waters, and he pulled out these lovely images of the sun. That's with safe solar viewing filters, of course. We had lots and lots of different views, different telescopes, and of course, art as well. So what would be an Astro Fair without a little bit of an art booth? This is wonderful handmade art by one of our undergraduate students, Matteo Stati. And of course, the ice cube neutrino model, which during the day we put a tent over to kind of allow the lights to be seen. But at nighttime, the views were really spectacular. Our Downsview Park partners were there with, of course, lots of information about the natural world and our Astro ties to it. And of course, that's where we run our special stars, movie stars. So movies under the stars, where they show the movies and we view the stars afterwards in the summertime. And we're doing another one of those in August if anyone wants to join. And of course, with all of the fun examples, displays, and this giant planetarium looming in the background, it was very easy to spot us even from the ground. So this is actually taken from the ground next to the parking garage where the planetarium is, of course, visible over the edge. It was really spectacular and it ran between 45-minute to 30-minute shows inside the planetarium, which was lovely with very comfortable seats and lots and lots of lines. I couldn't even get pictures of all of the lines for them. But once the public started to pour in, we had wonderful receptions. Here's a couple pictures from inside the planetarium that came out okay. It is very hard to get good pictures inside a planetarium. It's not generally recommended, but wonderful shows. And of course, inside and out, lots and lots to see and to do. So we had a great showing, great view, and great partners for this event. So I thought what would be better than, of course, as the sun goes down in the event, we get to see more and more sky objects, more and more moons, Mars, of course, being pretty spectacular that night as well. And we had great glowing views from the neutrino detector across the entire event area. Now, I'm going to let our wonderful partners tell you a little bit about themselves here in a couple of different areas. So walking through the Open Air Astro Fair, we're going to do this digitally just because it was such a wonderful event. I wanted to make sure that everybody got to enjoy these incredibly gifted science educators and their wonderful displays. So first up is the Ice Cube LED display. One. What is this interesting thing I see in front of me? Mark David.
So this is a 1000 scale model of the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory, which is located at the South Pole in Antarctica. And the actual observatory at this point would be 1,250 meters below the ice. And then this would be 1 kilometer. So the entire observatory is a cubic kilometer embedded in the ice. And what it's looking for are these elusive particles. They call it a ghost particle or the neutrino. which is so light that it can travel through 1 light year of steel without changing speed or declination. And the way they can see them is they interact very lightly with these small particles called hadrons and leptons. And when they do, they let off this special light called Cherenkov light, which is blue. And then the patterns of the light can tell them what state the neutrino is in, and they can be in one of 3 states. And but then also the patterns of the neutrino showers can tell them where they originate. So they originate from things like supernovas, black holes, and stars, and other kinds of phenomena in the universe, and other places as well.
Could you tell me what that sound is I'm hearing?
So the model visualizes and sonifies events that they've captured in the observatory. And so for every LED in here represents a sensor in the array. And every time there's an interaction with the sensor, the light lights up according to the brightness of the light is connected to the brightness of the event that it senses, and the sound is mapped to the brightness. And then color is time. So you go from blue to red in time, and so the higher the frequency of the sound, the more recent the time is.
All right, now moving through the Astro Fair a little more, I'll just say that background noise you heard before was the planetarium next door. The chirpy noise was the neutrinos. Now, going just across from the planetarium, you enter the observatory atrium cage, which in the sunlight, we only had one telescope out, and once the sun sets, we brought in more. So let's find out more about the sun time operations from 5 to about 8:30 p.m. from our observatory member, Nicole.
Okay, here we are at the observatory entrance with Nicole, who's running the atrium. Nicole, what is this just to your side here?
Here we have a good crowd control for the public to get a good pictures, and here we have some images we've taken on our own observatory telescopes, and it's actually a good spot to take good pictures when public shows up, and also they can also get exposed to the images which we took with our telescopes.
Amazing! And just behind you we have, of course, the observatory cage. What is this interesting telescope you have set up here on the side?
We have the 40 centimeter which is open for now because the sun is still down, and we have the 20 centimeter up here with the sun protection on. So basically we can do solar observing, so which means if we just look to the eyepiece, we can able to see the white giant sun with the sunspot presence. So basically sunspots where the high concentration of magnetic field can be observed, and so
amazing.
The sunspot is going to help us to explain the rotation of the sun.
And of course, this in front of you, in front of the telescope, that's what makes it safe. Don't look at the sun with your naked eye. Make sure to use this protection. And over on your side, we also have one more item. Do you want to just show what this is?
So we have a sundial. So sundial helps us to just helps us to get the time based on aligning with the sun. So basically now the time is close to 7, so we can able to see the mark is at close to 7 over here.
Yeah, amazing. And of course, this Sunquist sundial is one of the most accurate designs, and it's the miniature giant sundial that we'll be having later on this year at the observatory.
And on to our next area, walking away from the cage, across from the planetarium, we find the Alan I. Carswell Observatory grad students and James Webb Space Telescope enthusiasts and also researchers, Sana Withers and her helper, Anna Skrinick in this case. Let's find out more about the JWST at AICO.
All right, here we are at the Creation Station with the James Webb Space Telescope area with Sana and Anna. Sana, tell us a little bit about why there's a James Webb Space Telescope area at the Ellen A. Carswell Observatory Creation Station.
It's because the York University has a very strong connection to JWST. The Canadian Space Agency was involved in commissioning and constructing JWST, so Canadian astronomers have always played a role with JWST. In particular, here at York University, there are several people who have won observing time with James Webb, which include a very large program in the first cycle called Canucks, which we have a whole bunch of images from that here of galaxy clusters with JWST. But also, the largest ever observing program with JWST is actually from a professor right here at York University, Adam Muzzin. So York University has a very strong connection to James Webb, and we can also image JWST with the 1 meter telescope.
Amazing. And of course we have these flyers here that I'm just going to have you show me one real quick. Yes. Amazing James Webb Space Telescope flyer is from York University. If anyone didn't pick one up today, they're at the observatory for collection for free. And without too much ado, we also have a special commemorative edition James Webb Space Telescope coaster set made by our amazing observatory crew, a limited edition for sale at the observatory.
And of course, there was a small sales area, and next to that, a giant free creation station with lots and lots of wonderful flyers that you probably saw before in the slides, and pinhole cameras, which were really fun. So now let's see about how to create the pinhole cameras.
On the front of this paper here.
All right, so let's do that one more time.
Okay. So you want me to just run through all of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got our pictures here, our lovely cat face that we've drawn. We go through and we trace it out with punching holes with our thumbtacks. And when you've punched all the holes, you hold it up to a surface here. You can see it makes these bright dots. And these bright dots are little projections of the sun.
Amazing, we can see it.
That trace out our image.
That's the pinhole camera here at the Observatory Creation Station.
And moving across the creation station, skipping for now the coloring and the other activities, we finally go over to the planetarium entrance with Ryan Marciniak to tell us more about the Astronomy in Action Planetarium.
Okay, now here we are at the Astronomy in Action Planetarium at the Astro Fair. Ryan, what is this interesting structure behind you?
Well, it looks like a brain, doesn't it? I always tell people it's my brain because it couldn't fit in my head, but it is in fact an inflatable planetarium, the only one of its kind in North America, because it's big enough, heavy enough, and sturdy enough to actually operate outdoors. So we have it running out here on the roof of the Arboretum parking lot, which is fantastic. But the best thing that people like when they get to go inside this amazing structure, aside from the beautiful 4K projection and the gorgeous scenes of space that hasn't quite come out yet, but we see it up close, is comfy seating. That's one of the nice features of having a planetarium this large. We can fit in 30 people at capacity. Everybody sits back comfortably at just the right angle and explores the cosmos with us. And that's what we do at Astronomy in Action.
Amazing, and that's a show you have running right now behind you, right?
That is called The Wanderers. It's one of our tour shows. It's one that I wrote and produced myself, and I'm very, very proud of it and very sensitive to comments about it. So I'm excited. Most of them have been very positive so far, so I'm really excited to have everybody at the Astro Fair come and see this show, or even come and visit our public tour and see this show or one of our other great shows.
Awesome, and of course people can go to your website if they've missed this event, right?
Yeah, they can find us at astronomyinaction.com or on social media at Astro in Action.
Amazing, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
And of course, walking around from the planetarium, you come into the rows of booths and activities, one of which from our Downsview Park partners with Ellen A. Carswell Observatory is this wonderful area that they came out and set up for us all day. So I highly encourage everyone to go check them out on their website as well, but let's hear from them directly.
All right, here we are at the Downsview booth at the Astro Fair with Daniela. That's Downsview Park in Toronto, Ontario. And can you tell us a little bit about Downsview Park and our upcoming astronomy event?
Yeah, so Downsview Park is a really big urban park in the center of the city. We're lucky to have a lot of access to nature. We have our lake, we have our forest, we have ponds, we have a prairie. So a lot of great things going on, opportunity for the community to come and explore. We're also lucky to be doing an event in partnership with the Alan I. Carswell Observatory. So in August, you can come out after one of our movies Under the Stars and have a great time observing what's up in the sky.
Wonderful. And of course, I'll just go ahead and zoom in here. If folks want to find out more about the Downsview Park events, you can always get onto their newsletter, and you have a website here somewhere, right?
Yeah, so downsviewpark.ca, or if you're looking for info in French, parcdownsview.ca.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that was just one along the row. Next up, of course, we have another exciting area, a little bit different, but still really fun. And check out that amazing solar scope on the side.
All right, here we are with Space Place Canada. We've got two wonderful helpers here and a whole bunch of interesting stuff. Can you folks tell me about Space Place Canada here?
We are a group of folks trying to get a large, iconic planetarium back to the city of Toronto.
A planetarium like that one over there?
Yeah, only permanent.
A permanent planetarium. What are some of the benefits of a permanent planetarium?
Well, you don't have to worry about the weather. You don't have to worry about setting it up and taking it down because it's always there. If it's a large one, you know, you have hundreds of seats. We can show pre-recorded programming. We can show live interactive programming, and we're not limited to just astronomy as well. You can bring in any sort of 360 media to do education.
Awesome. And of course here at the Astro Fair, I see you've got a lot of educational stuff set out. So are there any, I think I'm convinced about the planetarium. If people want to find out more, where can they find you?
Spaceplacecanada.ca.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
And of course, after Space Place, right in the same line along the row, is the York U Astronomy Club with Hector and Arthana, who were doing the amazing henna constellation tattoos. Really, really fun. And the Astronomy Club is really great here out at York. So let me let them tell you all about it.
Look, here we are at the Astronomy Club booth at the Astro Fair. We have two wonderful Astronomy Club members here. Looks like they're doing something really interesting. What is it you're doing over here, folks?
Okay, so well, here at the Astronomy Club stand, we are doing some henna constellations.
So we'll zoom in here so we can get a picture of these henna constellations. So how does this work? We're taking the constellation patterns and henna. Can I see what it looks like?
So we draw them on, and it takes about 30 minutes to dry up, and then you just brush off the excess.
Oh, amazing! That looks so cool. And here's a finished one. Do you know what constellation that is?
This is Cepheus.
Cepheus, amazing. And of course, if people want to find out more about the Astronomy Club at York University, how do they find out more from you guys?
Well, here we have an interesting flyer that we got a beautiful design, and our email is yorkuastronomy@gmail.com. So
amazing.
If you're interested to join us, please email us at that over there. And we also have our social media over here, our Twitter X, website, and Instagram as well.
All right, excellent. Lots of ways for folks to connect with you, and awesome constellation tattoos. Thanks, everyone.
And it was lots of fun to get my own constellation tattoo from them, of course. And just around the corner from them, we have yet another, a really, really fun area, the Rask Toronto Centre. That's the Royal Astronomical Society Canada Toronto Centre.
And here we are at the Rask Toronto Centre area of the Open Air Astro Fair. Looks like quite a setup here. Charles, can you tell me a little bit more about what's going on here?
Wow, we have the telescope set up in here, and we would like to invite the public to come and join the stargazing event with us. It will be an amazing night tonight. Look at the sky right now, it's so clear. So I'm sure it will be fantastic.
Awesome. And of course, if people want to know more about the Rask Toronto Centre or join, I see you have some benefits of membership here. And there's a website as well, isn't there?
Exactly. So they can come in and come to our website www.rascto.ca, and they can find all the membership benefit at our website as well.
Excellent. And I'll just zoom in here really quickly because we have some amazing Rask Toronto Center planispheres and looks like a night sky almanac, as well as some really cool moon flares. And those are all free giveaways, right?
Exactly, Janice. And we have this book in here. So if you come in and join as a member, we can give it out for free to them.
Oh, what a great deal. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And of course, after viewing through the Rask Toronto Center telescopes, we could go right across and see the Killarney Provincial Park telescopes. And this is a small set of telescopes that were put up as part of our Astronomer in Residence program, which is also with the Alan I. Carswell Observatory out at the remote location of Killarney Provincial Park. But here they are today on top of the Arboretum parking garage.
And here we are at the amazing Killarney Park and also Astronomer in Residence area. Bruce, can you tell us a little bit about this awesome area you have set up and the Killarney Astronomer in Residence?
Absolutely, Dr. Hyde. So, Killarney Provincial Park is an incredible park located on the northern shores of Georgian Bay. It's one of the first dark sky preserves in any of the Ontario provincial parks. And about 15 years ago, we started putting observatories there. There's actually 2 right now. There's an observatory with a 10-inch telescope optimized for looking at the sun, and another observatory with a research-grade 16-inch telescope and a 5-inch refractor. Now, these observatories are located in the pristine dark skies of Killarney Park, and the public educators, the park interpreters, are amazing. They know all about the geology, they know all about the flora and the fauna and the water cycle. What they want some additional help with is on the astronomy, the night skies, connecting those night skies to the experiences of Killarney for the campers and all visitors. So we work together with the Alan I. Carswell Observatory to bring knowledgeable astronomers, professional or serious amateur, to come up and live with us basically for a week or 2 to help our park interpreters teach the skies, astronomy to the layperson, the campers and the visitors, and everyone wins in the long run.
And if people want to follow along with this program, there's a website as well, isn't there?
That's right. The Alan I. Carswell Observatory is hosting on a website that features exciting blogs where our current astronomers in residence post the latest experiences. It could be hiking trips, canoe trips, kayak trips. It also could be seeing the northern lights, meteor showers, the planets, and just meeting people and learning all about each other.
Amazing. And we'll just zoom in over here on this side to the amazing Ontario Park's first dark sky preserve, which is of course out at Killarney Park as well.
Correct.
And then we'll say thank you very much for coming out to the Astro Fair today.
Thank you very much for having me, and we hope to see you up in Killarney sometime.
And of course, that isn't all, because we have right next to the Killarney Provincial Park a wonderful area from Yorkview Nuts and Rask, Mississauga, run by Robin Metcalf. So here we go.
All right, here we are at the Astro Fair again, and we have this really interesting telescope set up. Robin, can you tell me a little bit about this telescope and what you've got here?
I can. So this is a 10-inch Dobsonian telescope. It's homemade. It was made over 50 years ago, not by myself, because I would have been 3 at that point. And I take it with me for outreach all the time. It usually is the only old school telescope in the sense that it's not automated. If you want to find things, you just grab it and hug it. You have to move it around yourself. And so I find with guests that it's so tactile that they love it. Like they'll say to me, I want to look at the moon, and I'm like, okay, you go and you do that. So they just look through the finder, they find it themselves, and then they look through the main tube and they get so excited when they see it. So I love it.
Well, that is a wonderful area, and of course, thank you very much for coming out to the Astro Fair today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
And just down from the older telescope, we had a whole flock of newer telescopes brought by the Dunlap Institute from the University of Toronto, joining us out at York University on top of the Arboretum parking garage. So here they are.
Okay, at the Astro Fair again, and it looks like we have the Dunlap Institute here. Really interesting looking, amazing pictures here, and quite a setup. Can you tell me a bit more about your area?
Yeah, so we're from the Dunlap Institute. We've got some cool demos going on here. We've got our meteorite collection, so you can touch some rocks from space. You can feel what the rings of Saturn would feel like if you could touch them. We've got some 3D printed models of objects in the solar system, and then we have a bunch of telescopes. We have our 2 telescopes that we're looking at the sun, and then we have a little collection over here of sea stars that you can connect to with your own device in order to take your own pictures of space.
Amazing.
So yeah, we have a few fun things going on.
I think it's a group of telescopes would be a flock or a...
Yeah, I'll have to think about that one.
All right, thank you so much for the wonderful description. If people want to find out more about the Dunlap Institute, you guys have a website, right?
Yeah, so for the Dunlap Institute at the University of Toronto, we do a lot of events, a lot of public outreach, and so you can just find out more by going to dunlap.utoronto.ca.
Thank you so much.
And right across from the Dunlap Institute was our last regular station, one of our undergraduate students, Matteo Santi, doing a lovely display with art and telescopes. So let's hear about that.
And here we are with Matteo at the Astro Fair, all the way down at what we're calling entrance number 2. Matteo, can you tell us a little bit about this really cool area you have here?
Yes, so I just have 2 things here. One is my telescope with a solar filter, just looking at the sun, being all the nice sunspots. And over here, I've made some nice planet art. So it's basically just a lot of spray painting and using some newspapers to make this amazing texture on each of these little planets. Selling plenty of them, and some of the proceeds are going to the observatory as well. So nice and clear day, and I hope you enjoy.
Oh, thank you so much. And this looks really amazing. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit on this picture on the side here that has 3 planets on it. Do you have any names for these pictures?
No, not yet, but I mean, if you could take one, feel free to name it whatever. It's just whatever.
Yeah, it's awesome. These look really great, and of course we do have some larger ones down in front, so I'm just going to zoom in on those a little bit, and then of course awesome inflated astronaut here on the side. All right, thank you so much, Matteo.
And that was almost the last station. What you couldn't see was that behind Matteo was the start of the solar system walk with sidewalk chalk. So we had a scale model of the solar system actually running behind Matteo, and all of those stations starting off at the sun and going all the way to Jupiter. And if you recall the map you saw earlier, there's one more station I have to tell you about. Now, this one we weren't able to do a recording on the night because it was a little bit chaotic, but the Ellen I. Carswell Observatory was right there, and we were also open. So I could not show you the observatory domes. So here we're going to talk a little bit about the observatory domes. This was taken just a day after the Astro Fair. And you'll notice is it actually has 2 domes. Now we opened the 1 meter dome for the Astro Fair to show people around the 1 meter telescope, and of course to get a little bit of fun observing in on the side. Now the Ellen A. Carswell Observatory at York University in Toronto, if you haven't heard about us before, we actually do a bunch of different things. We do research, we do teaching, we do education and outreach, and of course we run that astronomer in residence partnership that you heard about from Bruce Waters. Now, the Ellen I. Carswell Observatory telescopes are made up of a couple different pieces. The biggest telescopes are, of course, the 1 meter telescope and the 60 centimeter telescope, which live inside of the very large domes that we open to the public on tours. Well, most of the tours. The 40 centimeter telescope was out at the atrium. So that was a location you saw Nicole at earlier with the 40 centimeter and the solar telescope. And coming soon, we're getting a 8-meter sundial that's going to be near the observatory, and it's going to be a similar design to that Sunquist sundial you saw at the atrium. Now, the Ellen I. Carswell Observatory is open for free every week. the Open Air Astro Fair was their only paid event for this year. If you do want to come along to any of the free shows, every single Wednesday night, we are either out at the atrium or inside the domes. We also have a Monday night York Universe radio podcast, which goes out as a podcast wherever podcasts are distributed. And we have a Monday night online public viewing where we show images from the telescopes online, as well as a final Friday YouTube broadcast, which you probably would have seen if you're on our YouTube channel watching this video. Coming up right now, we're launching the Stellar Scholars program at the LNI Carswell Observatory, which is a set of online modules, quizzes, and educational content for high school teachers and students. And the whole entire program was created by York University undergraduate students. Our Astronomer in Residence program, as mentioned by Bruce Waters, runs every summer. And if you are interested in applying, the applications generally open at the end of January. If you want to follow along or visit on site, you can always find out more on the Astronomer in Residence webpage, yorku.ca/science/observatory/air. Now, of course, if you want to support the LNI Carswell Observatory, we did raise, actually, I can say in retrospect, we raised about $1,000 from the Open Air Astro Fair with our ticket sales. But if you'd like to donate to us to help us keep running these free shows, that would be great. And we do run off of pure volunteer energy. As the Rask Toronto Centre says, clean, renewable volunteer energy. And our observatory loves to run free tours. So if you'd like us to run more of those free tours for the schools, for the public, and maybe even fill out a few more weeks of the year, please consider donating by going to that same website before, or you can go directly to the donate link at giving.yorku.ca/observatory and donate there. So I'm going to take a little moment just to say thanks to everybody for watching along with us, and thanks especially to all of our wonderful visitors who came out for the Open Air Astro Fair to join us, either as participants or as visitors. And of course, I hope everyone had a wonderful time and got lots and lots of that great free swag. For more information about the observatory, for more images from the Astro Fair, or for anything else you might want astronomy-wise, you can always see the observatory main website, yorku.ca/science/observatory. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Clear skies and have a good night.